Welcome to Overwatch, and welcome to another episode of Coaching the Many. This time we're going to be talking all about D.Va. We're going to be talking also about a little bit about Horizon. We're going to be talking a lot about the meta as well, why D.Va is so important, why D.Va is so vital, and yeah, we're going to be doing all of that kind of stuff. It should be pretty good, hopefully. But we're also going to be talking about like how you position yourself, how you try and get the most out of defense matrix, how you try and manage that defense matrix, because it's a seriously important skill, and I think that's probably going to be I'll try and focus, I guess, around defense matrix more than anything. So I think if you get the defense matrix right, everything else kind of follows on quite naturally. So let's get rid of Twitch chat, clear off the screen. Game rating is about 2.5k. Veloz has been on sort of the verge of platinum. Apparently he's had internet issues, and so he's looking to get into platinum and wants a couple of hints on how to do so. And D.Va's definitely a good place to get started. So while we do this sort of pre-team select and while their team chats on, it's nice to see that they've got a chatty team as well. It seems relatively upbeat and willing to talk with each other. So hey, they're going to be picking stuff. D.Va is a vital piece of the puzzle in a lot of comps at the moment. She is incredibly strong because she just exerts a huge amount of pressure onto what the enemy team's trying to do. So if the enemy team has a lot of ultimates available, for example, D.Va's very existence, the fact that she's on the map and is a physical presence, shuts down a lot of that. So you can't Graviton Surge, you can't use Tactical Visor, you can't use Death Blossom, you can't use tons and tons of abilities. Anna stops being a functional piece. There's all sorts that just stops outright working because D.Va exists and has defense matrix. This is why she draws a lot of flack, why she's considered incredibly powerful in the meta, and why she's always felt a little bit unsatisfying in some ways, because she's very she has like a unique design in that she's very blue ball-y. Like she gives you blue balls because you're trying to do a cool thing and then you can't do the cool thing. The green screen is grainy. I saw a flash of the green screen being grainy. Let me fix that up. You just while they come out of spawn here. This is also the new map, Horizon, that got dumped literally straight into ranked, which was kind of interesting to see that happen. There we go. This should solve any graininess on the green screen. Makes me look very red. Horizon's an interesting map. I don't think people have quite figured it out just yet. I don't actually like the Symmetra that highly on this map, purely because Horizon is unique in terms of layout for the first point. I think the first point of Horizon is really kind of interesting. Because it's very different to how most first points work. So if you think about how most first points of maps operate in Overwatch, it's usually some form of choke point with maybe one or two side paths. So King's Row is the sort of choke point. You can go through the cinema and you have a side path. Eichenwald has that bridge, but then you can go around the side now. Even Hollywood, for example, has the archway and you can go push straight through. Hanamura, the gates with the little window. There's generally like only a couple of options. This map is completely different in terms of layout. It's extremely open. You basically got this big open central courtyard area. You've got a balcony that rings pretty much that entire zone, and then you've got the point sort of tucked into the back. What I see most teams doing is usually pushing around here, going through here, and then going up and taking sort of this route to get to the point, which is relatively effective. And as a result, most teams generally will hold up here because that gives you good oversight on the choke point and will let you be able to hold the choke point on the stairs over here. The danger is that the team can just push through and try and get around this way, or that the team can just dive and go aggro. I've drawn arrows all over the screen, but hopefully you followed that. The reason why I don't rate Symmetra so highly is that Symmetra is extremely good at dealing with choke points. She's excessively good at handling chokes. So, what's she slowing down here? The answer is pretty much nothing. Their team isn't really in any kind of position. This is actually a good first dive. We just isolate the Solid 76. There's nothing he can really do. He has to just run away. And we can just keep the pressure on. I'm fine with us just left clicking here, by the way. Now's when we want to start considering our right clicks. You can see we're already taking a hammering while we kill the Zenyatta. Honestly, someone else should have been doing that at this point. And we can just sort of create a space for the team to find in. Because this is what D.Va's defense matrix does at its core level, is it creates a safe space for the team to do things in, make plays in, and actually cause things to happen where the enemy team can't actually deny you. So you're basically creating a, think of it almost like an easy visualization, I'd say, is instead of imagining the defense matrix, imagine it's just a barrier and that anyone inside the barrier isn't taking damage. So yep, just dealing damage, creating an opening. Like here's where you might want to be thinking about covering, especially you want to be just bringing the right click up every now and then. Like this is actually a good tip for dealing with Symmetras. Anytime that they have a Symmetra and they're just sending these big orbs out, like denying these orbs is actually pretty important. You just need to flick up the defense matrix for a second or so just to catch them. But these things do like 100 damage a shot. Like they are very much worth catching. And trying to like drill down targets like Mercy. It's so in comparison to just creating space for your DPS to actually do whatever it likes. Now we're stuck in mini D.Va form. Finding a Roadhog is actually kind of a blessing, because Roadhog gets us a new card nice and quickly, but unfortunately we're back into like the one soul Symmetra turret and the push goes wrong. Part of that was like, the team comp is a little bit self-defeating in a way, because it's half dive, half not. Like Reaper is not really super aggressive dive, he's more just march in and try and fight people. Once he gets on the point he'll be great, but until that point he's gonna struggle a little bit. Luckily you've just completely forced the team to displace. We now have options, we can either take the high route or we can take the low road. We do want to be a little bit careful doing stuff like this. Like, you notice we seem to lose track of our entire team. I was told that Villalobos mentioned that he is in communication with his team, but he basically has his own microphone muted, so you can't hear it. But this to me, like... This feels bold to me, and purely because it's just like we just get completely isolated trying to do this. And trying to sort of do this land grab while our entire team seems to go the other way, which... sort of an indication that something's gone wrong. We should pull back to the rest of our team. Good job. We need to find where that site is and just put a block on it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this fight play out. Looks like the Genji got the TP as well, which is quite nice for us. I'm going to turn the volume up a notch as well. This is death for us, usually. Okay. So what I want to keep an eye on is the defense matrix. Like, we still have defense matrix up right now, and it's not doing us any good. It might be a little bit hard to pick up on Twitch, but defense matrix goes up. And then while we're doing this reposition, we have it up all this time, and we're not stopping all that much. We're sort of defense matrixing into a barrier, where even if people shoot this way, they're probably going to hit a barrier. Like, the only thing we're really blocking is the Zenyatta, and the Zenyatta should be shooting at us. The Ana's relatively safe, quite far back. And then the result is that when we land, we just have like so little of it that we can't actually block the soldier. And so Lucio ends up dying, although I think Lucio was sort of out of position regardless. Good hook by Ana. In this instance... yeah, no, there's not too much we could have done there realistically. Like, maybe stepping back would have worked a little bit better, but honestly... a little bit dicey. I'd say like the instant wake up on this guy is a little bit of a distraction. So when the sleep dart comes in, like we can just stop firing, just let Ana pick us back up and we might survive that instead of just holding down left mouse button. There's enough time during this sort of downtime animation that we could do that. So it's small optimization, but might have let us keep our mech a little bit longer. Might have kept us in this fight a little bit longer, but when we get back here and we're stuck against Symmetra, we almost get her, but feels bad, man.
Don't go in, let's regroup. Okay, I'm gonna normal boost you, Genji. Just make sure that your dash up in there.
No, kill Zen first and then kill Mercy. So that Zen doesn't ult.
Genji, dash up in there and I normal boost you. Wait, I'm not.
So it looks like they're getting ready to call targets. At least they're setting up. Genji already dropped super low. This is sort of the danger of going this route, is where you have, like if half the team isn't prepared for it, then it just gets super risky. The one optimization we could have done is you got to be very aware that when you have an Ana, line of sight is super important. So, first and foremost, we should probably be blocking for this guy. As the damage starts going in, now's when we can put a defensive block up. And just keeping this guy safe. But what I would recommend doing is actually running more this way. Which sounds weird, but if the Ana is stood where we were before, she needs to be able to get line of sight onto the Genji. And right now, if you consider like the terrain that we just crossed, so like this is the perch where we started, and then this is the perch where we're ending up, and there's like this little thing here and the balcony over here. So we went like this. If Ana is stood up here, and Genji stood here, and we're stood here, we are just effectively blocking it. Ana might be moving, might not, but just always be a little bit wary of where an Ana is standing. It might be because I'm hyper aware of it being an Ana main, but still. He throws a bomb, we just go outside, the airlocks close, nice and close, and then we have an interlude from Metal Gear Solid 3 apparently, that Velo snuck in here. I believe this is from, like, the Metal Gear Solid 3 had a blooper thing at the end of it, and it was called Snake Tales, I think? And so he snuck that in just to try and get the point-blank bomb. Honestly, we could optimize this bomb a little bit more. I don't disagree with using this bomb, by the way. Like, we're so low on hit points that we probably need it. Okay. That's, by the way, is a Davy Crockett rocket launcher. It launches mini nukes. Okay. It might be worth waiting it out to have our rocket booster available, because just dropping it here is one thing, but honestly, if the Roadhog scrambled back, he might be able to make it over the back of this. I always prefer just launching it, like putting the brick on the accelerator. We had the time to wait as well. We could have just launched it onto the point. Tried to fish something out, and meanwhile, the Roadhog's chances of killing us are relatively low. Just a bit trigger, yeah, just a touch trigger happy. We should be trying to disengage from this. Good. The only thing I'll say is that we disengage from this, but we disengage from this a little bit too late, and we use like all of our defense matrix in doing it. The second you see the Mercy coming in here, this is a no-go for us. There's no way that we are out DPSing a D.Va with armor on it, with a Mercy just there healing them up. Even with an Ana healing us, this fight is just going to take way too long. It's just going to be pointless. We should be looking to just reposition pretty much immediately. You can see that most of our team on this little pan around. This is why you've got to be very observant and very quick if you're playing D.Va in my mind, because you can see our team is here, 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 and here. So we need to just be getting out. And honestly, you wouldn't have been remiss just like going straight out here, because there's just nothing to support us anymore except the Ana who's landing some shots. But there's someone up here, but they're just as dead as we were. We do manage to catch the Symmetra. She, for some reason, is out of position. Apparently, the Ana was very proud of that grenade. To clear those out. Create a corridor for Reaper to run up. Spend a moment regenerating. Now we've ended up... This actually happens quite often. Nano boost on D.Vas. It partially happens because D.Va's just very big, so it can end up on you for whatever reason. If you're nano boosted as D.Va, it's very similar to being nano boosted as Reinhardt, because you have a right mouse button defensive ability, but you also have like the left mouse button ability to kill things, but it only works at super short range. Do not shirk your duties in defense just because you've been nanoed. Chances are, nano boost going on you, one of two things has happened. A, you are trying to stall for as long as possible, therefore you just need the tankiness regardless, so you're trying to just tank up as much as you can. That is not the case here, because the team's just fighting on the point. B, it's a mistake and it was intended to go on the Winston, the Soldier, the Genji, the anything that can actually just kill stuff. D.Va is at her most effective when she's eating shit with defense matrix. Like, there's nothing better that D.Va can be doing than just outright stopping enemy abilities going through and doing stuff. It's insane how good that is. The enemy is not getting ult charged, they cannot use ultimates while it's up, they cannot use ultimates while the threat of it is available. It's an incredibly powerful ability. D.Va is so-so if she's spending a shitload of time chasing around a very evasive, slender hero such as Mercy with a Harmony Orb on her, with Transcendence going off as well. So yeah, we should just be blocking right now while we wait for, especially for Transcendence to come out. Now that's done, I'm fine with this blowing up the Roadhog. We can actually get away with doing that. And this is where finally Genji gets on the Mercy, gets the kill. Probably didn't even need the Death Blossom there, but good job just covering him with the right mouse button. This is actually one skill that is incredibly important for D.Va players, which is, even in cases where, you know, now that we hear the Genji's gone off, if we get up, like if we see the Genji going into places, we should just be trying to give him what cover we can, just because it makes him super, super safe. And this is how you'll see the pros using defense matrix on the offense. is they will use it to cover whatever offensive hero is trying to do some work. So you will put it over Winston's who are jumping in, you will put it over and in front of Genji's who are trying to Dragon Blade stuff, just so the counters to them, like sleep darts for example, or just high output damage, will not be able to actually hit them. Therefore they'll be able to just get away with doing more. They don't have to worry about their own lives if you're just there protecting them. For example, Genji's tend to have to use deflect at some point during Dragon Blade. If you're just covering him with all this juicy defense matrix, you won't need to use that. So it's a very strong use of it here. When the sight's going out, we just do a good job. Just put the soldier in a box. We can put him to one side. Reaper could just hold, well, not even hold Q, just taps Q, and then he dies. Finish off on the Symmetra. Feels good, man. Free Roadhog. Good block. Even post nerf, it's very much worth it. So they just wasted a res. I'd say as we start getting low here, it's worth considering that this bomb, the enemy team should be confused and angry at the moment. If I was on the enemy team, I would be confused and annoyed, because Mercy's just wasted Resurrect. Like, Symmetra dying is one thing, but this point is basically already gone. So then to me it's like, okay, well Roadhogs also die, we need to mount a really aggressive we need to mount a really solid defense at the moment. Point is swapped, no one's on it, Mercy reses, and we have Q available. This is actually one of the few instances where D.Va Bomb is very, very powerful, which is when the enemy team wants to reposition quickly, and we can then use it to actually get a huge amount of value. Because the enemy team doesn't want to be fighting here. The enemy team just does not want to be stuck here, because our respawn is literally just like 2 steps behind us, and their respawn is 3 miles away, but it's by the point. But if 1 or 2 people, like if the Genji just starts playing around in the hydroponics lab and just starts getting a couple of kills and then just bounces to the point, he's going to be able to get at least a third. And if more people back him up, then they could be really staggered here, really badly set up. So what should we be looking to do here? Well, we should be trying to block some damage, but honestly, this is a very good time to also get the D.Va Bomb to do some work. And the best thing to do with it would just be to launch it into the hydroponics lab, because if you think about where the enemy team wants to be, they don't really want to get stuck fighting here. They want to go and defend the point. So if you put the bomb between them and the point, they can't go and do that. Their positioning will be super fucking confused. They're going to be annoyed. They already think, oh shit, I'm out of position. And so there's a lot of opportunity there. I'm fine with us trying to drill on the Mercy a bit, but just keep an eye on our own hit points, and then just get ready to put the brick on the accelerator, launch it over this thing here for cover. And honestly, I would just aim it like here, just so it goes up and lands over on the other side of this thing, because the enemy team will inevitably try and run away from where the big scary exclamation mark is, and you'll probably get 1 or 2. And while they're repositioning, all your guys are getting kills. The one thing I'll say is that if you are trying to burn down a Mercy, like, try and make sure you have a little bit of space, and make sure you are really into her face. Like, you've got to get real close to do that. For some reason, Genji's all the way back here. We're going to notice just how little this Genji's doing, and Winston's already on the point. They would not be able to do this reposition if we threw that bomb. We're going to struggle catching up to the Symmetra. Fine with this taking a moment to regroup. The important thing to remember now is that we have... So the team sort of... like, this is where the discussion from the team starts to really focus on Symmetra in a kind of silly way. There's an important thing to remember. Symmetra just got like a shitload of kills. She's just been forced to move and relocate. She's just been forced to like reposition. She didn't have a teleporter or a shield generator or anything. Spoiler alert, she has a teleporter or a shield generator. Like, she has it available to her at the moment. There's no great secret in that. But we have self-destruct. So we should be feeling pretty comfortable, actually. Chances are very good that she's going to put down that shield generator any second now. This is a complete waste. There is no way that this bomb works, or it might get 1 or 2. And I know I say this a lot with D.Va coaching the menus, or when D.Vas throw bombs. Because quite often, like, they do get a couple of kills, but you notice in this case, it just doesn't work. And if they have the Symmetra, and you can see that she has a shield generator, it is such a massive ball ache to try and get to that shield generator, especially on this point. It's so annoying, because the enemy team's reinforcement distance to it is not far at all. She can put the shield gen literally back here. Enemy team has to literally reinforce in front of it to get to the point. Enemy team is all positioned defending pretty much where the shield generator is going to be. There's no easy way to sort of sneak round to it. It's insane how strong of a position this is. one of the easiest things we can do is just launch the bomb at it and then let it explode. Like, we're not going to kill anyone on the enemy team, but we've just done 300 damage to all of them. We've nullified Symmetra's ultimate, and we've removed a big objective for our team, because now our team is going to be fighting a constant uphill battle, especially on this final point of Horizon, where winning decisively and winning quickly is insanely important. It's absurd how important it is. You got Transcendence, that's not too bad. Just try and get out. We should be just backing all the way out now. Don't worry too much about re-engaging on that. Just pull back, pull back, pull back, pull back. We're very lucky that the enemy team didn't just push into us here. Very lucky the enemy team didn't. Otherwise they could just keep a stagger going. The grenade is beautiful, but this is, again, sort of, definitely don't do this. Definitely don't rocket forward like that. Oh boy. Oh boy. Woo-wee. Why is this a bad idea? Well, first and foremost, they have a Zenyatta. The second you sort of push forward, they're going to discord you. You're just such a high priority to put a discord orb on. Like, as someone who plays Zenyatta a lot, I will tell you that putting discords on divas is one of the most important things I do. Just because anytime the defense matrix goes down, she just explodes in a second. She has a big head hitbox. She has a big just model in general, like the statue. You know, it literally costs like 3 times as much apparently, just because Diva's so enormous. She just explodes. I went a bit Donald Trump there. He explodes. It's terrible, guys. It's wrong. I can't do Trump. Thank God I can't do Trump. And also, they have a Symmetra that just cuts through. Like, we can't defend against the Symmetra ourselves. We need other people doing that, and we can create space for people to do that, but just be very careful when moving in front of Reinhardt's. We should be trying to shut down her right clicks, but then, like, be very careful about pushing too far in front of your team.
Yeah, Winston's better.
We're gonna make Symmetra great again. We're gonna cover this Reaper. He was wrong, out of position, terrible. I'm gonna have a big Kafifi on the point. Gonna be huge. We're gonna feel it all the way in China. Our priority right now should just be to build up an ultimate, in my mind. Fake moves. Fake moves. The enemy team is fake moves. We should be blocking this. It's bad. We're gonna repeal it and replace it with something that's even worse, which is Baby D.Va. Oh, sorry, I'm locked into it. I'm locked into Trump. I can't believe it. I need a wig. Where's my wigs? Anyway, pretty big mistake there and just not blocking. Like, we actually make 2 very quick mistakes in a row, which is, okay, the rocket to reposition is fine, but then we bump him literally into melee range of the Ana. We need to block this. He's going to kill the shit out of your healer. Notice how she explodes. I know we don't have too much defense matrix here, but any little bit of it will help. Just keeping Ana alive, making sure that she can run out and get out to safety. So I think we have a little bit of a moment here where we're trying to kill someone. We're past 5 meters distance, so our damage is terrible. If you are past 5 meters on D.Va, you do nothing. So, you know, just put the damage out of your mind. I know that he was purple, I know he's a big target, but block that damage. Block that damage. The terrible Trump impression, sad. Wow. Wow. Guys. Okay, I see what this Winston was going for. He puts down a bubble to try and save it, and then it literally lands inside the bubble. Guys, don't get fancy with D.Va. If a D.Va does that when she just like launches it at random, like just stand in these places. Like just take it slow. Be sensible. Take it steady. This is not a push anymore.
Everyone come to spawn. Spawn.
Is that...
Spawn.
Who the hell... I think that's Genji who's all the way out there.
Everyone come to spawn.
We're actually in the right position here. I know this guy's saying spawn, but staying here to cover this Ana is actually the right decision. Just because if anything starts forcing on this Ana, then we can block the damage, which is what we need to do here. So she can get picked back up. We should be catching stuff like that, so if you do see a Zenyatta, be prepared to just flick. You don't even have to have it up for long. But if you see stuff like this silhouette here is somewhat distinctive of this is a Zen doing his wah wah, which is, that's what he does apparently. Yeah, just bring right mouse button up. Like, just catch this, because this can one-shot people. This can and will one-shot people, and it's also building Transcendence, so there's no harm in just putting a block on that. You just have to put a quick block on it. This is where the team, the team's plan right now is we're going to go and kill Sim. Your plan right now should be a little bit different. Your plan is I'm going to try and get into position. Like, goal number one is to get our team through this, so we're honestly going to need to like regenerate defense matrix. Because we need to push through this tiny little choke point, so we're going to need defense matrix up while we're pushing through this so that we can actually make our way in. The Symmetra is going to cause problems. But you can see like the Winston's already just taken a huge chunk of damage. Just as he's going in, because he ate that big red glowy orb. Dislike that bomb. Okay, it looks like, oh wait, the shield gen's still not up somehow. Even then I would say just keep a hold of it. Just keep a hold of this bomb. Like, until you need it, don't waste it. Like, this to me is a bit of a waste. And you might think, well, it's going to clear the point, but it's still relatively easy for the team to hide. So we get two. I think we get the D.Va mech and we get the Roadhog. No, we get something else, I think. Well, whatever we get is completely irrelevant. They now have another shield generator. We have no fast and easy counter. And I just think you need to be very careful with D.Va Bomb. Do not think of it as like, oh, I'm just going to clear the point and win, and don't try and initiate with it as well. It just does not work very well. This Reaper needs to go on this Roadhog. Good job. Catch that. Good. Need to be a bit snappier on catching some of these orbs. Good job clearing that out. Mercy's quite low. Good job, good job, good job. Getting some damage out. Focus on clearing the point right now. There is a tele somewhere. There's something on the point. Good job blocking on that. Get ready to just block some stuff. We're just isolating the Roadhog. I wouldn't mind us taking a little bit of a look around here as well, just to, like, you know, name the 3 heroes that got rezzed here. And I know it says on the kill feed, but just taking a quick look around, like, we see that there's 2 of them, but there's also a Soldier 76 behind. So right now, my thoughts would be, like, just looking at the kill feed. We want to block this, and we want to block this. And we want to try and keep an eye on both of them and try and get both of them together if we can. So we spot out the Roadhog. We're in a Winston bubble, which is a nice start. We get some damage on him. I want to see where this soldier has gone as well. We need to be aware of that position. Even just like a quick flick and look around would be quite nice. The Reaper shuts down the Symmetra, which is what Reaper should be doing. And you managed to take the point. Relatively painless for us. The big thing I would say is that, again, like, think of your D.Va Bomb as a hard counter to Symmetra. Like, it's one of the best in the game for doing so. And the nice thing about this map as well, this is true for a couple of other maps, but if a Symmetra is going to put a shield generator somewhere, it's going to be behind this wall, like around here or around here. So honestly, if you know it's over there, like if you've just pushed in from this high ground and you see it over there, you can honestly just put the bomb like here, for example, and you will get everything inside it, including the shield generator. So once you know where it is and you know that it's back here, don't be afraid to just, like, and you're low on hit points, brick on the accelerator, launch the bomb here, get rid of it, get your new mech, keep fighting on the point, block high DPS targets, go from there. Okay. Let's move on to the defense.
Oh, good job.
Oh, good job.
Yeah, it's so awkward.
Right. Defending this map. D.Va's actually really nice at it. I rate mobility on this map to be pretty fucking important.
Do you want to do reverse dive?
What you're saying about the bomb is the opposite of what I've been thinking. I've thought of it as an initiation tool. I've never liked it as an initiation tool. I often, like, think of it this way. If you're playing in Overwatch and you hear a D.Va Bomb go off on the enemy team, but nothing else is happening just yet, it's very easy to just sort of have the mental processing to go, okay, D.Va Bomb is coming in from this direction, I'll run to cover here, and I can hide from it relatively easily. But when there's a big clusterfuck in the middle of a fight, when, like, there's tons of shit happening, or when someone else uses an ultimate, it's impossible to, like, have the mental processing to go, oh, and there's a D.Va bomb flying this way, and then I have to get around here, but there's someone over here that's killing me, there's someone over here that's killing me, I can't position it, like, I can't position myself properly, oh my god, 3 seconds have passed and I've died. It's a lot more powerful when it's in the middle of a fight, or when it's sort of coming in later. Otherwise, you're just going to see the Reinhardt, for example, just turn around and put a barrier in front of it. Winston's just going to put a dome on top of it. Like, they'll have tools and they'll have time, more importantly, to be able to deal with it.
If it's a Pharaoh, we just all have to focus it. Okay?
No. Come back. If it's a Pharaoh, you kill yourself.
But the big thing is just,
Focus Farah.
You should
like,
on this because everything's very closed in here.
Yeah,
I-
that's right.
see that they're focusing very. Sorry, I'm listening to what the team's talking about here, and I'm skeptical. I did not like this comp at this point. We lacked hit scan DPS. Are you triple support, or are you double? You're triple support. Yeah, I mean, to make this really work, I'd say, yeah, like, this should not be Junkrat. I don't like Junkrat at all on this map. And third point, maybe, but there's still 3 doorways, but if you're just spamming through the right doorway, then sure. But on the first point, it's so open. Until they get onto the point proper, then it's relatively closed, then he can make a lot of stuff happen. But by then, the enemy team should be just on top of him and should just kill him. So, I think the Junkrat causes a lot of issues here. It might work, who knows. The team was also talking about, like, if they have a Farah, then definitely Junkrat should not be staying on Junkrat. I'm okay-ish with the Symmetra. Like, at this rank, Symmetra is insanely powerful, so it works. Okay, fair enough. The Winston D.Va, I think, is the ideal defensive comp right now in the current meta, just because this map is so open that you can do it. The Junkrat should definitely be up here with you, though.
Decent on this because everything's very closed in here.
The idea that this guy has of, oh, we should try and defend on the point proper, I don't think is a good idea. I think that they should be up here, and, like, especially with having a Junkrat, if most of the team just stands up here, you can easily reposition back down towards the point. Enemy team, if they try and get on the point, you have a couple of angles you can shoot down onto it, you can reposition onto it very easily. D.Va can just get on it as well, so D.Va works very well for these mobile defenses. If you are doing any kind of defense, like Hanamura is a really good example. Basically, if the... So Hanamura is the best example for this. So if your team, like, let's draw a schematic diagram just before we begin of Hanamura. So Hanamura, you have, like, the high ground area here, the stairs leading up to the high ground. So let's make some stairs. This is sort of the back of the point. You've got, like, a wall here. This is where the point is, so this is the point. And then you've got, like, the 2 little areas. Got the bridge leading onto the higher ground, like, onto the middle ground here. You get the idea, right? This is Hanamura. Teams will usually defend up in this area, okay? So this is where your team usually is, okay? So sometimes what ends up happening is, like, 1 or 2 people, or their entire team sometimes just pushes straight onto the point. And your team's stood up here, and then what happens is everybody jumps down. Like, everyone fucking leaves. The ideal thing to happen here isn't that everyone jumps down. You can leave, like, Soldier 76, for example, will be super happy up here. Anna will be happy up here. Zenyatta will be happy up here. They should honestly stay up here. The first person to jump down should be the D.Va, because the D.Va can survive a long time with defense matrix, so it should be pretty much full. And she can get back up to high ground if she needs to heal up. So you just jump down, you don't rocket boost, just jump and drop. Scoop up and contest for as long as possible, where your team uses high ground advantage to establish dominance. And then when you are low, you can bounce back up, or the rest of your team can jump down and help you out. But the time that D.Va can sort of stall is super, super important. So that flexibility is a key component of D.Va. Same logic will apply here on Horizon, where the team will just start defending up here. Then if you need to get onto the point, it's so easy for D.Va to just fly down and go this way. So you can fly over this way and get onto the point. You can just fly over the little middle bit. You can do so much here as D.Va.
Just see how it goes before
And with a Junkrat on the team, like, this to me is like a no-brainer, is staying up here. Junkrat thrives and lives on high ground. You can... it's just... Okay, this is going to annoy me, because if you're going to pick Junkrat, you better be fucking good at Junkrat. I want to get... Right here. This is perfect. Perfect frame. If the Junkrat... Like, if they're on the point and Junkrat just literally aims rockets here... let's use a higher contrast color. There we go. Junkrat literally shoots rockets here. They should, like, bounce up and then bounce down onto the point. You know, he can stand over here and bounce rockets into the point. He can stand here and bounce rockets into the grenades into the point. He can bounce grenades fucking everywhere. He can bounce grenades into all the important choke points that he needs to be holding. He can do so much from up here. I don't recommend going out here, and honestly, the outside feels like a massive death trap to me. So because our team isn't up here, we actually have a problem. We should, like, okay, this is actually perfect. This is a perfect opportunity to demonstrate just how fucking stupid D.Va's guns are. I want you to pay attention to how little damage this area takes. Okay, so I know there's a Mercy healing her, but she's literally taken 0. She's taken about 20 damage. Mercy's no longer healing her. She's taken a good like 40 damage maybe. I think someone else was shooting her maybe at that time as well. And then we're forced to run away. So I use this to demonstrate, like, I really want to ingrain it into people's heads when they're playing D.Va. Your guns at anything past 5 to 10 meters are completely fucking useless. They have a huge damage drop-off, a huge spread, and just do absolutely nothing. Anything else that we are doing, yeah, this is not doing 40 damage on its own. Something else has hit her at this point, I reckon. Especially with that headshot. So maybe someone landed a shot, I don't know, maybe she took some splash, but the damage we output here is just fucking nothing. Meanwhile, the enemy team's using us as a fucking punching bag, and we're depleting a huge amount of defense matrix. It's also worth mentioning that when you're doing this, you are not pointing defense matrix at the enemy team. Anytime you're not pointing defense matrix at the enemy team, bring it down as quickly as possible. It is your most important resource. Don't waste it. Either back up with defense matrix on, or just turn and rocket boost away instantly. But I really want to sort of drive it home that if you are shooting at any range past 5-10 meters, stop, cease. It's not going to do anything.
Let's get her, she's in the corner.
Reap on the site.
Good job. That was a very emphatic yell. Nice.
D.Va to the left.
Important to mention that once the soldier commits to sprinting, soldier cannot sprint and shoot at the same time, so just you can bring down the defense matrix here and start recharging it a little bit quicker. Get the mercy, he says. Yes, let's dive with Junkrat and Symmetra. Winston body blocked you there. Important to note as tanks, like, be very careful with your positioning. So Anna might have actually been able to save us here, but the grenade hits Winston instead, so Winston body blocks it. We get demeched. That's a huge disadvantage for us. This is primarily just a bad call by the Winston. So it's Winston who makes the call.
Get the mercy.
Winston forgot what his team lineup was. And shrieks to get the mercy, but no one's there to, no one can get the mercy. Mercy's fine. This is absolutely foolish. Very much like Winston. If you use your rocket boost to position somewhere, just keep in mind that you cannot get out. And if you're low on defense matrix already as well, then you're gonna have a bad time, right? Like the second Winston jumps in, our priority here, to me, the correct decision here, is to take a couple of steps forward, try and put a defense matrix over him, and let him bounce out, and try and cover his retreat. There is nothing that the two of you can do where their team is just strong and supported and has healers all over the place. The damage output that Winston and D.Va have is not going to be enough to be able to actually do anything here. So if we just put a defense matrix on him, and try and sort of facilitate his retreat rather than committing, because now we're stuck in here for 5 seconds, which is long enough for the enemy team to get a kill on us, it seems. Especially because Winston, like, body blocks. Worth mentioning that if Anna was on the high ground, she might not have this issue. It's just FYI. So it's not all on the Winston, part of it's on the Anna. Anna could also stand up here, which is actually a nice little place as well. There's some good cover. Symmetra getting a ton of free value. Let's try and get our brand new car. Just spam those shots in. Good man. Okay, press Q. That Zarya is going to have Graviton. I will be thinking very much about this now. So about a minute 15's passed. She's on very high charge and she's been doing a lot of damage, particularly to you and Winston. She has Grav. Do not burn all your defense matrix here. We get through about, so like I'm backing up here because I want to see, this is where you have to start being very careful with your defense matrix. You want to make sure you always have some in the tank, and you probably want to make sure you always have about half. So we're contesting as best we can, but there's nothing really here to support us. Trying to fly around. Managed to get on the Mercy. We're actually doing some good job onto the Mercy. Close. This is a bit of an overcommitment, I think. So for example, the reason why I say that this is a bad decision is that if that Reaper has Death Blossom, he should use it now. Or even if, like, the second you go out this window, so she gets super low, it's such a shame. If Zarya has Grav, she should have stayed on the point here and just grabbed, got it out. We are completely out of position to block any ultimates. Reaper should just Death Blossom. Like, this is the opportunity that their team is looking for. And sure, you would kill the Mercy, but your entire team would be dead. Enemy team should definitely, like, be considering. There's the Grav. Anna got the Reaper, so that's a good sign. So your team might be okay. Teleporter on point as well. Team stalling, enemy team's retreating. It sounds weird, but I think that was honestly the Zarya over prioritizing the Mercy survival. Works out for us though. We have a bomb. Use terrain, good. Let's use the wall. It doesn't go down. Try and get back on the point. We're delivering a shitload of ultimate charge to our supports. You'd be considering blocking this. He still has Death Blossom, remember? So again, be very careful. So this is a bad habit I'm noticing. Is we defense matrix, then we turn, we rocket, and we leave defense matrix up. I just want to sort of point out, as we do this, speed 2.5. So just be very careful about doing this, because you really feel it when you're out of defense matrix, right? Like, it feels like the worst thing in the world. And if they have Death Blossom, you want to have that. So we get to about half. Not blocking anything anymore. Everyone's shooting our bomb. And we're still using it. We're down to about a quarter by the time we turn it off. And that's going to make life difficult for us. Watching you comment on this, I think my mindset might be too much like Tracer or another flank when it comes to Mercy and other healers. Sometimes as D.Va, you want to be hunting stuff down. Don't get me wrong, but it's a... it's a prioritization thing. So if you see the Zarya's on high charge and about a minute's passed, or about a minute 30 for Zarya has passed, she's on high charge, enemy team's been killing okay. About minute 30 will be about when Graviton's coming up. If the enemy team's been struggling a lot, then it could be 2 minutes, 2 minutes 30, even 3 minutes for Graviton. But once she sort of gets snowballing, she can build it relatively quickly. It takes about 2 fights if she's got high charge out of it. And against the Junkrat, she's going to have high charge. So 1 minute 30 is about when I'll be considering it. Same is true for a Reaper. If Reaper's been shooting like Winston, for example, he's been shooting you a lot, he could have it. Your priority then has to change from, okay, I can hunt down and kill the Mercy. If this was the first fight, I would say, okay, no, that's fine. Go and try and kill the Mercy. But because it was the later fights, because there's been more than one, because there's a threat of Graviton or Death Blossom, you leaving opens up the enemy team for a huge opportunity just to get a game-winning play. And that's where sort of the game sense side of things and the idea of like, okay, as D.Va, my job is to exert pressure and stop these big ultimates. That's where it becomes important. Like this, that is a Death Blossom, yeah. When you see Reapers run into the middle of your team, I'll be right-clicking on him now. Just right-click, because we haven't seen him Death Blossom. He has it 100%. Luckily, Sound Barrier comes up to keep people alive, but you got to keep in mind Death Blossom, I think, does 200 DPS, so it takes 1 second. So if we're even a little bit slow, or the enemy team gets any kind of additional damage in there, people could die. Don't like this at all. I think we're doing okay, though. One of the better things... Okay, no. One of the best things we could do, actually, while doing this, walk forward and just try and stand in front of Soldier 76. So we have a heal grenade on us, we have 200 armor, and we have an Anna just pumping healing into us with nano boost. People shooting into nano boost targets with armor, very, very hard to do damage to them. So we can actually act as a damage sponge by just walking into Soldier 76 while still killing him. So my objective here would just be to try and corner him. We kind of do this, but then we sort of stop doing it and we start going on to the Mercy. And so what we're doing now is we're opening up the entire team. Like this is very much like not thinking like a tank. Where now we are for some reason going onto the Mercy when there's still a Soldier 76 alive that we could have just finished off. We get demeched, opens up Zarya for the grav. Zarya gets the big juicy fat grav. It's the win.
Both supports dead.
Yeah, fall back, fall back, fall back.
We lost it.
Yeah, we lost it.
Glancing at chat,
It's fine.
it's becoming very obvious. That's why second set of eyes is so useful. It really, like having someone else just asking and pointing out, hey, why are you doing this? This doesn't look quite right. This might not be optimal. Even just reconsidering your actions, I find is incredibly useful. How do you decide when to actually, like, let me take like this question very quickly in chat, because it's a good question to sort of slap in the middle here. When do you decide to defense matrix? How do you predict stuff? A lot of it is just experience. Like, you see certain situations enough times, it becomes very obvious when certain things are happening. So yeah, we want to get about here. Like, this to me is just a very obvious read. Okay, so the Reaper knows that he can't kill us because we have defense matrix, so he's going to peel away. We have not seen Death Blossom, so we've just been sort of keeping track of, you know, as D.Va, it is important for us to keep track of Graviton Surge and Death Blossom, because those are the two big ultimates that we can stop, so we want to be keeping track of those. And then when you see a Reaper doing this behavior is just like, would he run into the team like this, like literally all the way into the team like this, if he did not have Death Blossom? And the answer is probably no. He'd probably run to here and just kill Junkrat, then kill Anna, then kill Winston. Like, and even then, our behavior is still probably going to be trying to stop him doing that and just putting a defense matrix on him, and just it basically just disarms him, stops him doing anything at all. But this behavior, when you see Reapers running into the middle of a team, that's just Death Blossom, Death Blossom, Death Blossom. Like, this is very, very easy to predict at this point. And so just having that little bit of earlier reaction could have stopped a bit of damage. Like, Lucio managed to use Samurai, so you're probably going to be okay regardless, but still. He might sprint into the team because of just gold things, but even if he does sprint into the team just because of just gold things, then you're still stopping a Reaper at point blank range, which is still worthwhile. So then our priority is more defensive. This is where it sort of gets a bit muddy. We do a good job, we demech the D.Va, and then honestly, we should still be kind of thinking like a tank, right? The tank's job is to remove the larger sources of damage from the fight. We can do that in a number of ways. We could defense matrix a soldier, which is a possibility, which is always a possibility. But right now we actually have another option, which is we can body block the soldier's damage by just running into his face and making it so that he's going to just be, like, if he tries to reposition, we shoot him to death. If he tries to shoot at us, he's doing no damage, basically. If he rockets us, he kills himself. Like, there's no good options for the Soldier 76 anymore. So I was kind of happy to see us, like, move right into his face. But then when we peel away from him, that's when he starts getting a little bit more dangerous. And so this is an opportunity now for that Soldier 76 to get some results. I think he still shoots at us for some weird reason, when he should just kill the supports now. So we sort of luck out a little bit there, but then we sort of end up out of position. Zarya comes in, demechs us, gets the kill. And I actually want to check something. So we're on full health now. Now we're dropping because we've moved out of our healer's line of sight. And now we're getting drilled in the back. We're still out of healer's line of sight. I think the Lucio is trying to heal us, but the Lucio is between us and Anna, which is always a problem. And it's trying to pick us back up. Zarya comes in, we take a shitload of damage, we get demeched. So you could even make the argument here, just to like really super nitpick, and this is unusually specific, is that if we also just stood on the point, we probably still have the supports to keep us alive. We might have been able to protect against the Junkrat that's come out of fucking nowhere, and maybe get something done there. Still okay. Like, we used a lot of time. People are coming back to the second point. We have a D.Va bomb if we need to stall. It's an excellent stalling tool. We should definitely keep a hold of it. Don't waste it. Don't spam it on anything.
Yeah, Mercy would be
Yeah,
there.
Mercy would be more useful.
We'll set up on the next point.
The rest now. Soldier right.
This area is very scary. We drop down. Just keep blocking, keep blocking. Just wait until we actually get demeched. Good. And now Q. No, 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 we had to Q that. We had to Q that.
Baby D.Va main.
Nice pick. Let's
The reason why we have to Q this is the most dangerous fight we're going to be engaged in. It looks like your team might still win this, but I put that completely on the enemy team fucking up. Or maybe overcommitting.
Use ult, use ult, use ult.
Swap our gun target to the Mercy. Let's just keep blocking that out. That's a waste. That's a waste. No, 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 no.
Definitely get on the points. I get the ult when I come back.
Yeah, I'm just contesting.
I want to run through a hypothetical with you, because I have done this and I've seen this happen. So right now, enemy team's relatively spread out. Fight's starting to go wrong, like Mercy used a res, so got some good results off that. But you've got to remember that the spawn distance on this map and any 2CP map is already enormous. Or is it already is tiny even, not enormous, complete opposite of enormous. It's absolutely tiny. So what we are doing right now is we don't even have to win the fight. We can just bide our time and try and drain as much time as humanly possible. We can do that by blocking damage. We can be blocking the Junkrat, for example. We could try and block the soldier. What we're doing now, as crazy as it sounds, is opening up a huge vulnerability to our team. There has been a soldier on the right-hand side since pretty much the start of this fight, okay? We've seen where the soldier is. He's, we see it here. We know Soldier 76 is over here. Soldier 76 could very well be waiting for us to demech, or just trying to build up to his ultimate as fast as possible, and then try and get something off the back of it. Like, the things that we are scared of right now is going to be Graviton Surge, Tactical Visor, and Death Blossom. Everyone's so spread out that Death Blossom isn't that important right now. So Tactical Visor is kind of important. Graviton Surge is actually, well, Graviton Surge is actually a little bit minor because, like I said before, everyone's so spread out that, okay, it's not that big of a deal. Tac Visor could clean this up in no fucking time at all. And so we also want to try and be in our mech as much as possible because that's going to deny that opportunity for Soldier to try and do anything with that Tac Visor if he gets it during this fight, which considering stuff like, Winston's been dying, people have been dying throughout it, people are dying and respawning, Soldier could build up his ultimate relatively fast. So when you're in this phase of the fight, we should absolutely be trying to stall stuff out. We should be trying to find, like, where the Junkrat is, try and block as many shots as possible from him. Junkrat manages to barely survive somehow. But this ultimate could have come a little bit later because the opportunity that presents itself is the second you say nerf this, Soldier puts Tactical Visor on and just drills down the D.Va, kills D.Va, and then might pick up 1 or 2 more kills while still juking the bomb. Like, it's very possible to do that if you're coming in from an angle. Good job protecting the Symmetra, that's completely correct. Like, basically, Symmetra cannot lose this fight as long as we can put a defensive matrix on there, so we managed to do that at the least. And then we could just take our time here. We can block the soldier a little bit, we should be stepping back. Anna should be healing us, correct in using the I need healing button. There you go. We should be biding our time. We should be resetting somewhere. Probably on the high ground. In here, I don't like. This is separating us from our Anna. So if you think about where Anna's going to be good, in there is not where Anna's good. Be a little bit careful when getting that aggressive. Good job on the block, though. We should be blocking for this Junkrat, in my mind. Not blocking, not trying to do damage ourselves. If the Junkrat can get in, like, think of it this way. We're doing okay damage here, like, we're doing perfectly fine damage here, but the Junkrat doesn't really need help in doing damage. So look at this face. Like, the Junkrat's doing fucking amazing damage here. The D.Va, their D.Va should be trying to block this Junkrat, but they're not for some reason. If we can just ensure that this Junkrat stays alive, he's gonna kill this D.Va in no fucking time. He can maybe even get the Mercy. One of the worst things to happen here would be that the Junkrat dies. So I would have just shoved the block on that, but turning around, peeling off, and the soldier ults, perfectly fine. Put him in a box, try and get a kill on him. Don't know why we nano boosted there, but we did. Keep the pressure on it. Good job. We could have we can ignore that for now and come back to that later. I'm sure it'll kill someone later. Such is the way of things. It's important to note reload animations worth paying attention to. He's reloading. You can bring it down for a second or two. Now we need to put him back in the box though. He needs to go back in the box. We want to keep that Winston as alive as humanly possible. Grab comes in. They get a nerf this. We're in trouble. Feels bad, man. Mercy gets fat res, ensuring that she's not going to leave top 500 anytime soon. No! No! Why? Can't believe you've done this. I'm sure Vlogos was sat thinking, I know this ultimate is coming and I know he's going to be furious about it because holy shit. Their entire team is dying and retreating. Their entire team's dying and retreating. Can Matrix eat Total Mayhem? Yes, it can. I believe at some point it could also eat Soldier 76 healing. Like it used to do it because it was a Soldier 76's healing is technically a projectile that he drops, and it used to delete that. I'm pretty sure at some point it did that. I think they've changed it since. I'm like 99.9% sure they've changed it since. This Winston is very angry. Keep defense metrics. So the drive in here was actually a bit of a mistake. So right now, our biggest, like, the Zarya is going to kill us regardless. We are dead at this point. I know you probably weren't showing up very well. We have like 400 hit points. The Zarya is going to kill. The Zarya is going to kill us. Like, we have no supports. This is a high charge area. There's no way we're winning this. The accelerator for this is that the Reaper's also going to kill us. By running into this, all we're doing is, if you think, like, if we go back... So right now, if you think about sort of the general layout, let's use black, shoot you up. So we are here, this is us, got a big smiley face. And then you think about where the threats are, there's a threat here and there's a threat here. And so if we bring up the magic box encompasses all of them. Honestly, we only need to encompass the Reaper. Encompassing the Zarya is not going to do anything. What we end up doing is we dash into one, and so we end up in a situation where there's a threat over here and there's a threat over here. And this is us. And so sure, we can just block this one, but we're honestly better off just keeping both of these guys in line of sight so we can see where both of them are at. Stops the Zarya also doing anything fishy. Just put the defense matrix up, stall it out as long as possible. Buy as much time as possible. There's the dick, boobs, dick. No, I'm not drawing any of that nonsense. Guys, be reasonable. Okay, we're back in. We should be blocked. Okay, that was a good job by the Junkrat, but we can facilitate stuff like this. When we get into a position like this, and you can see that like most of the enemy team is shooting across this, like just put the defense matrix, let's change off the black, put the defense matrix over like the soldier, for example. Because we know, like, we see them all shooting this way, so we don't even need to look to know that there's something important happening over here. Like, there's someone is doing something over here. And you consider, like, if the Zarya is right-clicking as well, we put the defense matrix here, we're just effectively creating a wall that they can't shoot through. The soldier has to turn and deal with us if we do this. So I guarantee against a better team, they'll get the kill on the tire. We can make this tire work 100% of the time, but just being that little bit more careful. One of us just bursting through the Zarya. This is when we motor into the Zarya. Okay. Let's talk about 5 meters again. Notice that our damage, like, as she backs up a little bit, it starts to become inconsequential. You've got no barrier, just run into her. That's going to do a little bit of damage. That'll put her low enough where we can melee her and get the kill. Especially against a high charged area, that's when we need to make that commitment. If the Zarya is dead, she cannot graviton surge. Also very nice. I'll be more scared about this Reaper. There we go. There it is. We should have blocked that. Junkrat is now dead because of us. Catching the Farah. One of us just running into the Farah, by the way. That's A-okay. This is when I tell the team, by the way, that, like, I don't have defense matrix. We get lucky with that. Just as like a communication tip, like if you are playing D.Va and you don't have much defense matrix left and the soldier uses ult, let the team know. So you hear this and you just go, I can't block it, I don't have defense matrix. Just lets the team know that they shouldn't be grouping on you, but they should be trying to find cover. We should try and still block what we can, and flying into him also works wonders because it just puts a big tanky, like it's better that he shoots us instead of shooting other people. And then I'd say, and because again, the way these fights work, this is just another reckless use of this bomb. We've sort of covered this already, but just reiterating the point, hammering it home, really beating that dead horse. Like, we absolutely should be saving these D.Va bombs just to get a new mech out, just to keep the point stalled and contested. Just a little bit of a waste. Like, this is an instance where we should be shooting. Because what's she going to shoot here? She's going to shoot us, okay, then we win. Like, if at this distance, if she shoots us, we shoot her, we win. So until she gets up here, now she's shooting other targets, now we should be blocking. A little bit unfortunate. We should just be watching the arc of that. So we're just a little bit too poked out. It's kind of it's still a little bit mysterious in terms of how this fucking works, because I've seen like thin posts on Hollywood block these ultimates, but ugh. It's a bit of a shame. Team might still be recovering. Fine with us just putting the spam onto the Pharah. Seems to have worked out. Spam onto the Reaper. Get your mech. Oh, feels bad, man. We should still be okay. Winston should have this. And you should just about win this. Okay. Before we go to questions, let's just wrap this up as well. Like, I used to talk a lot about sort of what are your priorities as a hero? Like, what are your mini objectives? What do you establish mentally to make yourself better at this hero? What are D.Va's mini objectives? How does she function? What is she best at? To me, the easiest way to break it down is very simple. Think about the most effective thing you can do. Like, what is the best thing you could do? Well, killing 6 people with a self-destruct is, you know, if the enemy team is all dead, then you win. Okay, that's the complete optimal like peak of D.Va. So to me, that is the best thing that D.Va could possibly do. How can we actually make that a reality? It's extremely unlikely and difficult. Like, you have to have a perfect Earth Shatter with a perfectly timed D.Va bomb. Maybe that will happen. Maybe that will work. But otherwise, it's just extremely unlikely, right? It's very, very unlikely to happen. So what else is very peak for D.Va? Well, stuff like blocking big ultimates, blocking huge amounts of damage. To me, that is probably by far the most effective thing you can be doing that's actually realistic to attain. And so you should be sort of structuring your approach like that. We're thinking, okay, well, if blocking major points of damage is the best thing I can be doing, what's the most effective way I can establish myself doing that? In terms of like just keeping an eye out on enemy team members, just keep an eye out for Soldier 76, Reaper, and Zarya in particular. Try and keep in mind Graviton Bombs, Death Blossoms, and Nano Visors, or just Tactical Visors, and try and block as much of those as possible. Pharahs as well. Just blocking Pharah in general is very easy to do and very worthwhile. Blocking Symmetra right clicks as well is just very important because they go through barriers. If you're trying to push through a choke point and Symmetra is spamming through it, you can rip like 500 health off your team, because everyone just gets hit by it. It's super easy to eat it. You just need to quickly blip up the defense matrix and you'll get it. And when you're pushing through chokes, it should be up and running anyway. After that, then sure, she can mobilize, she can hunt targets down, but that's still not quite as good as protecting your team. So you've got to weigh pros and cons. If the person is being supported, it's quite hard for D.Va to finish stuff off. She's very good at sort of singling out people and killing single isolated targets, but she's not very good at killing supported targets unless they're really big, like Roadhog, Winston, another D.Va, for example, Reinhardt, other tanks. Especially once armor is gone, then she's pretty good at it. In terms of bombs, like I'll probably cover this more in questions as well. But in terms of thought processes for bombs, self-destruct is an ultimate which is marginal in power. So you want to be very careful when you are trying to use self-destruct aggressively and nothing else is happening. Again, just use that, like try and just put yourself in your opponent's shoes and think, when are the times when I die to self-destruct? When are the times when enemies die to self-destruct? You don't usually die to self-destructs that just come out of nowhere and like are just random. It's very easy to defend with those. Also, when you're defending, keep in mind that it's a bit like Primal Rage. It's a bit like just stalling out on Primal Rage with the bonus which you clear the point at the same time. So it's like, it's a sort of a double defensive whammy. But holding on to it and then using it just to get a new mech while clearing the point at the same time is extremely powerful. And very much worth doing. So if you have self-destruct when you are defending, just always keep that in the back of your mind. If there's an opportunity to just throw it in and get a couple of kills, then sure. But when defending, often use it just to keep a hold of the point or take control of the point as best you can. Get a new mech, keep on defense matrixing, keep on being a problem for the enemy team to deal with. On offense, you want to avoid using it at the start of a fight. You want to use it more in the middle of a fight. Try and set something up with it, and then don't be afraid again to use it just to get a new mech. So play aggressively. just hunt targets down, put defense matrix on stuff aggressively, block what ultimates they have. They blow you at the mech, and they think, haha, we've stopped the push. D.Va is now gone. We can use all these ultimates, and you just they nerf this, and then you bring out another mech. They go, oh, and then they have a really bad time. Also, Symmetra stuff, just launch it in. Anubis is similar. Just launch it into that back little pocket, like playing snooker. Just get it into the back right pocket, clear out the shield generator. Extremely worthwhile, very effective. Do it. You need to. Right, I'm gonna load up for questions, and then yeah, we'll be going through questions. All right, let me open Overwatch.